6 AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. XAU, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI. 6 AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. XAU, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI.
Okay, what's up people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. It does really help out, and of course drop any chart recommendations, any pairs you're looking to trade, and I'll be happy to discuss with you guys in terms of what we're looking at, what opportunities are available to us. I did have a USD CAD position. I did get stopped out that position. We'll do a recap on that idea. I'm still favoring USD strength, but USD's CAD price action not playing out pretty well, especially on the rejection we had yesterday. So we'll do a quick recap of that. I still am in pound yen as well. We'll do a recap of that. And then I'll go into some USD pairs, DXY. Seen some interesting moves on those pairs. Looks like strength is coming back for the dollar. We'll go through some USD majors, of course. Gold and silver, very, very interesting week for them so far. And a lot to dive into. Is it time to buy them and take them back to highs? We'll be answering that in this stream. So if you are enjoying the content, drop a like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into it. So I did have a dollar CAD position which I was long, and it was going really, really well. However, momentum quickly shifted. We had some CAD strength come into the market, and we had a really, really big downturn. Price potentially could be looking to form a higher low. It's gone and swept this low here. Potentially could be looking for another run higher. I'm going to give it a skip. It's a little bit flat for me right now, and especially given the current trend and the fact that we are a little bit exhausted. You know, we've had a really nice move to the upside. I'm not going to continuously bet on this uptrend continuing, although again there was a lot of strength recently. However, since we had the failure to create a new high here, which of course was the move that came back and did take me out of the position, I'm going to be a bit more cautious now. We still do have this swing low intact, and we could still be making a move back to that swing high, which was the bet on the trade. I hopped into some longs here. As we swept this low, we came back into a nice demand zone. Let me just draw the position back in so you guys can see. So we had the entry on this candle, stops underneath the low here with a bit of wiggle room, so I only got trailed out I believe early this morning, and I was looking to target the high here, which was around just underneath for 1 to 2. So nothing crazy, but just looking to play the continuation. Price came back into this zone here, tapped into it, very nice reaction. We swept the low there as well, so it's fitting the plan very, very nicely. We've got a clear uptrend. Momentum's in our favor. We had this consolidation phase which price spiked to the downside, potentially looking at a bit of a fake out, and then I'm looking to try and see if I can take advantage of that fake out with the expectation that price could run back to highs. And we did see that happen for about 80% of the way until some CAD strength came in, pushed us down. Potentially maybe price is going to run now after taking out this low here as well. But yeah, I've lost love for this bullish move. In terms of if it fit the plan or not, it did fit the plan very, very well. Entry was really, really well. Entry formed well too. And another day, potentially price would have at least just gone and crept to the highs, which was my target. We got about 80% of the way there before we did roll over. Then people could say, why didn't you trail stops? Why didn't you lock in some gains? At least go to break even. But in this type of trade, I wouldn't go to break even just because the market is quite flat here. This is a range, and I could expect to see some chaos, some noise before eventually maybe that swing does come into play. I only trail my stops to break even when I'm looking for a lot bigger swings. For example, like the pound yen trade I'm looking to take advantage of, which we'll go through in a moment. Then I'll look to try and trail stops as price goes in my favor because I'm looking for a much bigger move. Dollar CAD's position, this trend I believe is quite exhausted already on the daily chart. We've had a breakout of this range here. So this was a really nice breakout. It wasn't the craziest breakout in the world, comparing to gold, which we've seen a really crazy breakout there. But for an FX pair, it's not a bad breakout. We've had some momentum going, and all I was looking to do is see if we can have one more leg back to highs, call it a day there, and let's see what happens afterwards. So that's all I was looking for. So I'm not going to trail stops in this position because it probably would do more harm than good. Of course, in hindsight, it would have potentially stopped this loss. But again, trading is all about a process rather than outcome driven. If you always contemplate the outcome and work your way backwards from there, for an individual trade, you'll drive yourself insane, really. There's nothing wrong with looking at the outcome of like 10, 20, 50 trades and then going back there. That's completely fine because there's logic, there's sense there. You can actually formulate a calculated decision based on a good sample size. But individual trades come and go. On another day, this probably would have hit highs and then I would have moved on to the next position, as I'm doing now anyway. So yeah, I could have trailed stops, but again, if I got tagged out, knowing how corrected price is, and then see price going to hit my take profits, I'll be more annoyed with myself than not going break even. So again, not necessarily trying to focus too much on the outcome, more so, was it a good trade? Did it fit the plan well? Did it make sense? According to my plan, it did. Still potentially could attack high, but like I said, it's quite flat, so I'm just going to leave it be and maybe check on this position maybe in a couple days time. And then pound yen as well. We had some bearish momentum this morning. Pound weakness stepped in big time. Yen is still relatively weak, although it's having a bit of retracement now. I'm still very bullish on this one as well. Basically betting on the retest of that prior high, just looking for pound yen to come back to the highs there. And a lot further too, we do have the weekly or monthly even swing high up here, which I'm betting for pound yen to get to as well. And then I'm looking to see even if we can trail further than that. And that's where the trading stop loss comes into play, because in this position, I do expect us to at least get back to these highs and potentially further as well. This is a long-standing uptrend on pound yen. So this is a position which I want to try and push because the conditions are ripe for it. So yeah, in that case, I would trail. But in dollar CAD's case, it was more just, okay, can momentum just pick up back to high? Unfortunately, in that case, not quite. It did about 80% of the way there. But I am in this pound yen position. We're going to see how this one pans out as well. I still got full risk on. Stop loss is still underneath the lows there. I'm happy with the entry. Did see some nice momentum yesterday, and we did clear this high, which was something I was really looking for, because if we did get the break of structure here, I was like, okay, momentum is probably going to really step in, and we're probably going to go take these highs. But nope, pound strength, pound weakness came in, a little bit of yen strength as well. And then we had a really strong close there this morning. Nothing's changed in terms of the characteristics to tell me I should get out of this position. So I'm just going to sit and see how it unfolds. Again, trying to predict every fluctuation in the market is always going to be very difficult. But with the overall trend at play, my expectation is still that that trend still has life to it. I still do think we can continue. Maybe price comes back to retest the low, which actually could be a nice opportunity if you're looking to trade pound yen. Actually find some entries, but yeah, we'll see how this one gets going. Still very early days with this one. It's a swing trade. I'm not expecting this one to be done by the end of the day or the end of the week even, so still a long way to go. But yeah, we'll see how that does progress. But those are the two positions I've been in this week, and also I up CAD CHF. I do think that's got another leg lower. There are some other pairs I'm looking at. Gold's been really interesting, which we'll talk about shortly as well. What's up, Holy One? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Okay, yeah. Didn't cross, I didn't get in. Currently CHF buy. Okay, nice. Yeah, I mean, dollar CAD quite a clear uptrend there, but looks like price wants to have another leg lower. Trader, you waiting for price to go back up to your original entry for a new entry? No, I'm going to leave dollar CAD alone. I don't like the way that we failed at the highs in this position here. So we had really aggressive momentum, and then price came back to the highs here and then really reversed. You know, this was a pretty aggressive 4-hour candle. So yeah, I'm not liking it anymore because the point of the trade is that we've got a really steep uptrend here, and then all I'm looking to do is to see if that does continue. If price is now going to start to consolidate and start to mess around here, it means that the strength of the uptrend, which was once here, has weakened. Price may potentially still continue, but the original strength I was betting on is no longer present. Yes, there's still an uptrend, and if I was going to trade it, I would still be looking for buys. But in my eyes, it's not as a good opportunity as it was when I first entered. So I'm leaving dollar CAD alone for now. But yeah, I mean, still an uptrend. For me, it would have to take out this low for me to completely invalidate my bias, and it hasn't done that yet. So yeah, I would still be bullish, but I just don't think this is a good opportunity, or as good of opportunity as when I did enter the trade. So yeah, I won't be looking for a re-entry for dollar CAD. Still gold. Nice, LFTJ. Yeah, gold dropped. Where do you have a target for that one, or are you just trading stops? I suppose just trading stops might make some sense because you just don't know what gold's going to do really. Yeah, of course, outcomes are random. Only focus on the process, which is exactly. That's that's something to swear by in trading. You gotta focus on the process, because you take the same trade, one will be a win, one will be a loss. If you focus on the outcome too much, there you'll confuse yourself. Develop a profitable process, then stick to the process. GJ looking good for this week. I agree. Still looking good as well. That's why I'm still in the position. We'll see if we can get a push back to highs. Pound weakness really kicked in though. You can see if I go to pound USD, really aggressive close there. If you go to pound CAD, really aggressive push as well. So yeah, pound weakness really to kick in this morning. And if you go to like a similar yen pair like Euro yen, we've seen a bit of downside, but nowhere near as much. So a little bit of downside with that bearish candle there, but it's tiny compared to pound yen. So I'm not too worried, because again, when I'm looking to trade the yen pairs, the main thing I'm looking to trade is the yen. And same with USD pairs. When I'm trading a USD pair, the main thing I'm looking to trade is USD. And then it comes to, okay, which currency pair is the better one to trade? So when I'm looking to buy a pound yen, I'm taking advantage of a trend that's been going on for pretty much all the yen pairs for the past couple of years. So I'm betting on pound yen continuing. Right now, pound yen's probably not the best yen pair to be focusing on because of the weakness we just saw with pound. But again, strength and weakness comes and goes. I've got my stop loss in place to manage my risk. And as long as we can stay above this level, I do expect us to eventually see that momentum kick back in. But of course, we'll have to see how this one goes as well. Okay, GJs are buying, not ready to get it in yet. Need higher prices for confirmation. Okay. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if this one picks up, I'll be looking to add entries along the way. Because, yeah, I do really like the uptrend here. So, yeah, if I do see price get back to this high as well, break that, yeah, I will be looking to see if I can scale in more entries on the lower time frames, just to really take advantage of the idea. What's up, CS? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Took us more long on GJ at 202.1. Nice. Where's that? 202.1. That's just around current price. Yeah, I mean, you're in the same bet as me now. Welcome. Happy to have you. What do you think holding to 203, which is back here? I mean, the 4-hour candle was pretty aggressive, so that is one thing to worry about. If you look into long here, you're basically looking for this zone to hold essentially. Because if you look at the hourly structure, you've got a low, high, low, high. So what you're looking for is this high low to respect this previous low and then bet on a push, back into supply at least. So I don't mind it. I do think the location is smart. I would guess your stop loss might be maybe 201.6 somewhere underneath that low. I think if your stop loss is there, you're well protected, because if price is going to hit the stop there, yeah, we probably aren't going to hit 203, or we might push down first into this low before we do go and hit 203. So yeah, in terms of location for entry, I think it makes sense. You can refine your stop loss underneath that low. Yeah, just need to see a bit more evidence of momentum coming in here, because of course we've come down so aggressively. You want to see price come in and show a bit more strength here. But in terms of the zone you're trading from, I think it makes perfect sense. If this structure is going to continue, that's the area I would expect it to continue from. So yeah, let's hope Pound Yen can pick up some strength for your sake and mine. I'm confused, Wayne. What's the site I can learn? I did sign up, but I had to buy a new computer. I'm confused about your question. Are you talking about the website I'm currently on? This is TradingView. Or are you talking about a site you can learn how to trade? I'm not too sure. What's up, Dima? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Okay, 201.8. Yes, that's roughly around there. So yeah, basically at that low. So yeah, if price can start to see some strength, you're looking good. It was a mean closure on the 4-hour candle, so that would be my only worry. But let's see if the support can hold, because if it does, well, hopefully life can come back into it. Okay, so we'll go through some USD pairs, because we've seen some big moves on the dollar. It looks like USD strength is coming into play, and can we expect more of that? I don't know. I mean, yes, dollar strength's coming very well. I like the shape of it as well. It looks like a big V-shaped pattern, which again, as I speak a lot about, these patterns are very, very powerful reversal patterns. Now, it's not the best V-shaped pattern. The best ones where they sell off really aggressively and buy back really aggressively. This is kind of like a corrective move. It's still a V-shape, but it's better if it's more impulsive down, more impulsive up. Those are the better opportunities, but the pattern is still there regardless. So it does look like strength has really picked up, and perhaps we could be looking for a push to the high. Now, I'm not going to be so optimistic with the dollar. Yes, we were talking about some USD buys. I was looking to buy USD CAD with the hopes that USD strength will come in. Unfortunately, I didn't anticipate how weak CAD's going to be, so that did take me out, or how strong CAD's going to be. That did take me out of the position. But regardless, we have seen that strength off this zone, and basically the pattern repeated itself from this zone over here. Push, pull back, push, pull back, push, pull back. Now it looks like we're seeing the next push. Now, is it going to explode and take out this high and take out this high? I have no idea. But what I can say is, as we continue higher, I would be more cautious with the buys. Especially from a swing perspective, because these areas, these are bearish areas. This is where we do have a trend in play, and this is our last high, which gave us this low. So technically speaking, we could still continue this bearish trend and roll over here. So I wouldn't want to be so aggressively buying in these areas, because if we're going to sell off, this would be the place for it. So intraday, I do think you can get away with it, because of course you'd be in and out. You're not so much looking for the big swing trade. I mean, you can still look for the big move, but you want to be able to manage it in case things do turn around. And this would be the place, if they're going to turn around, this would be the space that I expect that to happen. So yeah, intraday buys make sense there for the DXY. If I drop to the 15, pretty convincing uptrend. I spoke about the retest of this area yesterday. Unfortunately, the market was way too bullish even for that. I mean, we are looking a bit corrected now, so I wouldn't be so excited with the buys even intraday. This looks like a very tired market. Maybe if we see a bit more strength come into play, then I could talk about the next wave after that. But if anything, this looks more like an ascending structure now, ascending channel, which symbolizes a market which is starting to tie and could be looking at a bit of a correction. So I'm not in love with the USD buys, I must say. Yes, the market's definitely bullish. Higher highs, higher lows, great, fantastic. But knowing where we're going into and how tired we're looking, I personally wouldn't try and bet on the continuation of that. Maybe if we push back to the low end of the channel, there might be a bit of a bounce there, but I wouldn't look for much more than that. Unless, like I said, we see some strength come in, maybe in the New York session, and then we can try to look for the pullback of that strength. But there isn't overwhelming strength, I would say, right now, especially intraday too. So if you're already in buyers for dollar, great. Take advantage of that momentum. If you are looking to try and buy it now, I think it's a little bit late to the party and things are looking a little bit tiresome. So I'll be a bit careful with that. But same thing with euro dollar as well. I mean, euro dollar, really nice move. I wasn't expecting such a clean move down, to be honest. I thought we'll kind of consolidate a little bit before the push down, kind of like what we did here. But nope, price was kind of one and done, just push up and then sold off really aggressively. But again, with euro, look at the areas we're coming into. Is this the best place to be looking to sell the market? Not in my eyes. Yes, we could continue. Of course we can. But it's just a market you would want to be in a sell earlier rather than getting in now. And if you are going to get in now, you want to be able to be out the market quickly if you need to be. I mean, this is a nice support area. I would probably wait for a bigger break and retest before looking for the short on that level. Of course, the market's been very, very consistent for all these lower highs. I talked about the retest of this zone yesterday. Unfortunately, not enough to retest that. The market was far too bearish. We created some more support, broken through that. That could be a nice place for a retest, or even this supply level up there could look good. But just because of where we're trading, I don't think it's the best opportunity right now, unless you're prepared to be very quickly in and out. So yeah, of course, euro is bearish and very well could be looking to take out this low. That could be the play for euro. But again, you don't want to be trying to chase the market. Ideally, if you're short euro, you want to already be short euro. You don't want to be looking to enter now, unless, like I said, you can be in and out quickly. But yeah, momentum's looking really bearish. I mean, I would be surprised if we suddenly just rocket to the moon here. So I do think there's a high probability price does go and sweep the low, then suddenly reverses. But still, in terms of location, I just don't think it's the best place to be shorting. And for me, location is quite important. So yeah, euro, really nice momentum. Probably still going to push back to lows, but I'm just finding it difficult to find some good entries there. Pound USD, not really the same case with pound because of the weakness we had this morning. It actually looks a little bit better because you got a bit more force behind it. Again, pound USD probably looking to head back to the lows there. We had the retest of that supply zone, tapped into it. It started off really, really corrective, but then momentum did pick up really, really well there. And now we're looking pretty bearish. Probability-wise, you're probably going to come back into that low. Again, I'll be a bit more cautious about selling into this area, but I quite like the momentum we saw this morning. It has left behind a nice supply zone or structure to come back and retest. If I can drop to the 15, yeah, a pullback to that could look really, really good. And you could see some more downside. And all you're looking to do is try and bet on another one of these lower highs forming, which at this rate is a pretty high chance. We've been so consistent with it. Now that you've got this force behind you, that momentum, you're not so much looking for a crazy trade anymore. So I do think intraday, the better play would be pound USD. They're both pretty bearish. They've both been falling since last week. The reason why pound's a little bit better is because we've got that force, we've got that momentum, which could give the market more of an incentive to keep going. Whereas euros looks a little bit tired, a little bit fatigued, and might give us a bigger pullback. But yeah, both look really bearish, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do head to the lows there. Again, for pound, I'd be quite surprised if price did suddenly just reverse like that. So yeah, I do think the higher probability is that push back to support. Same thing with euro. Dollar CAD, again, still relatively bullish on this one, but I just don't like the setup as much as I did yesterday. Therefore, I'm not looking for re-entries. Because again, I'm not trying to catch the move. I'm trying to catch a good trade. There's a huge difference between the two. Because you can still catch a move, but then you've taken a poor trade potentially. You might have broken rules, might have done something you weren't expected to do. And then of course, you've taken a poor trade, but you've caught the move, so kind of hides that a little bit. But yeah, I want to catch a good trade, not necessarily catch the move. I'd rather take a good trade that fits my plan well, criteria fits really, really well, and take a loss in that position. Actually, I was going to say I'd rather take a good trade and take a loss than take a bad trade, take a win. I probably would still rather take the win, I'm not going to lie. But long term, it will suit you better to take the good trade and lose, because you'll learn more from that. But you guys get my point. Anywho, dollar CAD has taken out this low here, and perhaps maybe price could bounce here and see some upside. I'm just not as convinced that we do come back to this high right now, especially with the momentum we're seeing, especially with that really aggressive supply zone up there. I could see a move up, but then I can also see that happening. And this is turning into like a big consolidation as well, which means that that original momentum we had is now on pause basically. And if it's on pause, it means it's a bit more 50-50 as to which way price is going to move. Is it going to continue the trend, or is it going to reverse? I don't know. So yeah, I don't think dollar CAD is as great as it was yesterday or Monday when I did take the trade. Yes, it's taking out that low, still testing nice zone. I do think we can have a bit of a bounce, but I would be cautious as we start to come back into this area up here. Yeah, that could be your trade idea, to be honest. Nothing wrong with that, but I will be careful around those areas. As for Aussie dollar, so this one has been pretty it's been pretty stagnant, to be fair. Hasn't really moved well. I think Aussie is a little bit stronger these days now. It's been really, really weak for a while. I still do like the areas up here, which is what I was hinting at all last week. Price was trading here, it was selling off very, very slowly. I said I want to see a bigger pullback for Aussie dollar before I do short it. Reason being, I don't want to be shorting Aussie in this situation here. The market's coming back into a big demand zone, gave us this leg to the upside, which gave us that high. I don't think this is the best place to be looking to short the market. Again, unless you're intraday, you can be in and out as a person who's looking to try and swing it, especially to take lows. I don't want to be looking to short here and hold for a long period of time. So I would like price to push back up into supply weight, where we saw that momentum come from, tap into that, and then hopefully we can look for the continuation. Of course, we'll see how price reacts when we get there. But yeah, for now, we've got really aggressive wicks to the downside here. So price has tried to sell off a couple times, it's struggling. And then we've just got a congestion of bodies here. So that tells me things are a bit 50-50 and we're struggling to see momentum continue lower. Perhaps we could see that bounce happen, and that could be a nice sell to talk about maybe later this week or maybe even early next week. So I'm still going to advocate for this idea here. I think that's the better trade. Shorts here, not the big fan. Maybe if you're looking for some longs, it makes sense actually. Another run back to the low could be a nice place for a buy if you are looking to try and counter that momentum. But if you're short bias and you're looking to buy the dollar, I think that's the better place to wait for some shorts personally. Right now, I have no idea what price is doing. As for New Zealand dollar, kind of a similar situation. Looking for a bigger pullback with this one. Again, as you can see, every time price does sweep a low here, as I've been talking about, every time price sweeps a low, we see a pretty big pullback. Sweep a low, pretty big pullback. Sweep a low, pretty big pullback. Sweep another low, potentially we could see another big pullback. So I don't think this is the best place to be trying to short the market, because evidently every time price has done that in recent weeks, we have had a pretty big up move. So I'd rather wait for that up move to come into play and then look to see if we can respect structure and then look to try and plot my shorts. And it will give me a better risk reward. I'll be positioned better. I'll probably have a better stop loss. I could probably look for a bigger move as well. So there's a lot more pros to waiting for that bigger pullback than cons, at least according to my analysis there. So yeah, with New Zealand dollar, just waiting for a bigger pullback. We're being really, really corrective here, so I like it. It means we're quite tired. This bullish move probably will be a pullback for us to continue lower. Not really seeing any aggressive bullish momentum come into the market. So yeah, shorts look good, but not until at least 0.58. 0.58, 0.582, that's the zones I'll be looking to see if we can take some shorts, and then we'll go from there. As for gold, of course, gold is doing some crazy stuff right now. Is it time to pick up some longs? Is it time to be a bit more hesitant? I'm being a bit more hesitant, to be honest. I like the zone we've come into. We did talk about this yesterday. 4,000, we pretty much spiked into 4,000, almost to the pip. I think we just missed it. Yeah, we got about 4,002, something like that. But you can see the strength of these psychological levels. But yeah, we've more or less come into 4K. Now, again, if we zoom out, look at the bigger picture, especially when we do have these, kind of surprise bearish moves, especially in an aggressive bullish trend, normally it's best to always zoom out, look at the bigger picture. Just give yourself some context. Because if you've been intraday buying gold on the way up, then you've seen this massive bearish move, you're probably thinking, what do I do now? Do I start looking to short the market? Do I keep buying? I'm not too sure. This is a really aggressive move. You start pulling your hair out. But if you look at the bigger picture, this is still a very, very bullish market. If you look at the bullish move from this low, 3,300, all the way to 4,400, and if I whip out a fib there, even if we just have a 50% pullback, which is relatively healthy, that'll still take you to here. And we're not even there yet. I mean, this is probably like a 0.382 pullback. No, not even quite that either. So the pullback, of course, in price is quite big, but in context of a swing, it's not actually that crazy. So what that tells me that this is, again, as long as we can not see another like a really aggressive push down, as long as we start to maybe slow down a little bit now, yeah, I do think this is a pullback for us to go higher. So I'm very much still looking to buy gold. I'm not looking for any entries just yet. I want to wait for price to kind of develop, mature. I'm not the type to get in or be the first to get in. If price does just springboard to the upside, so be it. I'll try and look for a pullback along the way to trade it back up. But when I'm trying to catch a low, I try to be a bit more patient. I try to time myself well. And then try and get in just before the market does rally. I don't like just being in front of the full force of gold and trying to call the bottom here. I think that's the harder trade to take and leaving yourself exposed a little bit. So if gold does just reverse here, cool. I'll wait for intraday pullbacks along the way. We can trade that back to highs. What I'll be looking for in this zone here is maybe a bit of consolidation, maybe a bit of an up move, price sweeps the low, and then comes back in. That's something I could see myself trading, which might take a few days to develop. So that's what I'll be looking for. Right now, I'm just kind of keeping a close eye on gold, monitoring pretty much every 4-hour candle just to see how we're looking. But yeah, I am looking for buys. I am looking for buys for gold. Intraday, you might find some short-term sells. Silver, likewise as well, really aggressive move down. Again, if you look at the bigger context of things, it's still a very, very, very bullish market. Yes, it's been a big down move, don't get me wrong. It might mean a bit more downside too, but the probability of us coming down to eventually see more upside is pretty high. Even if we push all the way to 40, which is a huge move, but the bigger swing probably still does take us to the upside. So yeah, I'm still very bullish on this one. As for intraday, you might find yourself some nice shorts to play. So if I drop to like an hourly chart, I don't mind this zone here. Maybe one more push. That could be a nice short there. Nice kind of flag pattern. Looking for one more move down. So yeah, intraday, I do think shorts make sense. We were speaking about shorts yesterday for silver. I believe we were trading around here actually. I said if price can pull back here, this would be a nice place for a short. But of course the market was far too bullish to even see that much of a pullback. But I like this zone here as well. Still see momentum. Maybe another swing to the upside, take the high. I think that could be a smart short as well. Again, I'm not looking for anything crazy, but I would suggest that will probably likely to come back and test support. And then we'll see what happens there. I don't think it's ready to be bought yet, which is another key point. So again, keep an eye on silver. I do think we're going to push up eventually, but not quite convinced on the buys just yet. And likewise for gold. So just biding my time really, waiting for more price action to print. It's a bit more of a unique situation. It's not every day that you have a steaming uptrend and then a really big push down, especially if you trade FX pairs a lot. Even if you trade gold a lot. You know, the last time price did this was earlier this year in kind of April, you could say. So when we had this drive here and an aggressive drop, then we've been stagnant till then, and then we've had another big push. So, you know, kind of looking at something similar happening there or here to happen before we do push higher. So yeah, still bullish in gold. just being a bit more patient. What's up, Precious? Good morning. Hope you're doing good. What is up? What is up? CS Wayne. Sorry, just going through some messages. You gave me a website I can learn to trade. I signed up but never went ahead with it. Oh, are you talking about Baby Pips? That's the only website I would have recommended. Yeah. Try that. I don't think I would have recommended another website. Or if it was my Elevating Traders Academy course, then it would have been Elevating Traders Academy .com. I mean, it depends how long ago we had this conversation. If it was in the past year, then it would be Elevating Traders Academy. If it was more than that, then I would have said Baby Pips. CS DXY breaks 99.05. Holding on still longs. Okay, cool. Out of the noise range already. Yeah, you're looking good. I'm not gonna lie for DXY. Trading stop loss 98.8. That support in my opinion. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, DXY is looking strong. It's looking a little bit tiresome on the intraday chart, so it could mean pullbacks. But in terms of the structure and the V shape, I think you can be pretty confident that you can probably expect a bit more upside back to highs really. And then we'll go from there. So you said you chose stops to 98.8, which would take you to around here. So I'm guessing just underneath this low here, giving yourself a bit of protection. Yeah, I suppose if price stays above that, you're looking good. Breaks below might mean a bigger pullback or even a push here too. So yeah, I think in terms of safety, you're looking pretty good as well. Holy One of a GU sell alarm. Okay, nice. Just need a H4 pullback big enough to get in. So watching closely. Yeah, I mean, we had a look at GU as well. I think we'll probably have a similar outlook in mind, which was, you know, we have this big push here, likely to see a pullback, probably likely to push back into that low there. Precious, good morning. Hope you're doing good. Pound CAD, yes, we can take a look. John, good morning, my man. Hope you're doing good. Welcome. Yes, Euro USD, Pound USD. I think intraday short bias on both of them, but I think Pound USD looks a lot better than Euro. There's a lot more momentum on Pound. Of course, Pound weakness really kicked in this morning. So Pound USD, especially with that drive, a probability of price pushing to lows, I would say looks really high. I mean, of course, Pound USD and Euro will do the same most times, so it might not matter too much which one you trade, but I would say Pound looks a little bit better. Hey Bashi, my man, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, drop a like, subscribe, does really help out. Share with your friends as well, and of course drop a chat if you want me to take a look at a certain pair or want to share some positions you might be in or looking to take. We can have a little chat. The drop in gold might be profit taking. Maybe more drop will come. Yeah, I mean the thing is with profit taking, you know, you could say that we could have had profit taking for the past like 2 months, because since price broke the high, we've just been flying. So yeah, I mean profit taking. Yeah, of course, there's been other fundamental reasons for gold to drop as well. But for me, it's still a very strong uptrend. So until something changes drastically, I would still be, you know, looking to try and buy that. Because you think about it, in terms of psychology, every time you have a big push down in any bullish market, crypto, indices, gold these days, that's the time everyone starts to panic. But most times you look back at price, those are the times, the best time to actually to play some longs. You know, 90% of the time, that's the best time. It's just that the emotion makes everything bigger than it seems. Like this push down on gold feels really heavy, but I'm sure we'll look back at it in 2 months' time, or maybe longer and look back and say that was a great time to buy gold. Again, nothing's guaranteed, but in terms of probability, it probably is a great time to buy gold. What is up, Malik? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Aussie, I hope we get a pullback. Where are you looking to short? As you looking to short? What are you looking to do with Aussie dollar? MT Simza. And where are you looking for the pullback to? Yep, looks like we're teaming up on pound JPY. It has. I've been doing good. Appreciate it. I hope you're doing well as well. Hey, what's up, Mateke? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Welcome. So yeah, I'm currently in pound yen at the moment. Pound weakness, not playing ball right now, but I'm still pretty confident in the yen weakness, which is the main play when I'm trading the yen pairs. Very rarely am I trading the yen pairs because I'm expecting another currency. Like, for example, I'm not trading pound yen because I'm expecting pound to be very bullish. I'm also trading the yen because I'm expecting that to be very weak. It's just pound yen sat up very, very well for me. If you take a look at the yen basket, which of course sums up the yen against the other major currencies, you look at this guy in the higher time frame. Let's go to the daily chart. I'm expecting more downside here. Looks like to me prices pull back to retest structure, and perhaps we could be looking at something like this in recent. Well, it could take quite a while to be honest, but that's the trend I'm looking to see if I can take advantage of. So if the yen basket is going to do this, that means the yen relative to Aussie, relative to CAD, pound, euro, and the dollar is likely to be a lot weaker. Well, it will be a lot weaker. So my bet is the continuation of this. It's just pound's the one that, in terms of the technicals, sat up very, very well for me to actually take the trade. So I'm going to sit in pound yen, see how that does get on. I entered this one on Monday, so still fairly new to the position. It's a swing trade, so again, not looking for this to be done even by the end of this week, to be honest. I'm looking for at least a push back to the high here, which is around 207.9. And I will be looking to see if I can trail further than that. It's just that most of my profit will be out there. But I do think we can continue, especially if the yen basket is going to make that move. We should see pound yen really fly. But yeah, we had some pound weakness this morning, which put me back into a bit of a drawdown. Seeing a bit of profit yesterday, but coming back into drawdown. We'll see if this level can hold. I mean, the main thing I'm looking for is this area to hold. If that area can hold, I remain bullish. I do think pound yen will continue break through that. I'll back away. Maybe this gap's going to fill first before we do push up. That could be what pound yen is looking to do. We've seen some other yen pairs fill their gaps. I think CAD yen filled the gap. That one's looking pretty bullish. Well, it didn't really fill the gap. It filled about 75% of the gap. Looks like there's a bit of construction outside. Apologies if you guys can hear that. There's always something going on when I'm streaming. Poor. New Zealand yen. This one actually didn't really have much of a gap. Surprising. I know Aussie yen had a big push down as well. Dollar yen didn't fill the gap, and that's looking quite bullish, but USD is quite strong at the moment as well. So some of these yen pairs may come down a little bit deeper to fill the gap. It may, but I'm ready in pound yen, so hopefully it doesn't. And yeah, we'll see how that does get going. Okay, fair enough. What's up? Thing is, again, with the name changes, I don't know who I'm speaking to. But I'm just going to say, Sam, what's up, my man? Because the names change and then I don't recognize your profile. So yeah, I would know who it is, but unfortunately, YouTube's done me dirty. Yeah, it did. It did on Pound Bash. It did. Okay, Jam Jam. Okay, what's up, my man? Hope you're doing good. Yeah, apologies for that. I've had to do some guesswork recently. High chance that Fed might cut rates, so the DXY by 10 weeks. Yeah, I mean, like I said, even the price action illustrates that as well. We're not out the woods. I mean, we could still see dollar strength in the meantime, and we are seeing dollar strength. But you know, this is really the area which I'm kind of keeping a very close eye on from a bullish perspective and a bearish one, because yes, buys have been great, but we could still very much do that quite easily. Break through this though, then yeah, I'm gonna be very, very bullish on the dollar. I would anticipate this to be a bit of a bottom, and yeah, next foreseeable few weeks I'll be looking to actively try and buy the dollar, sell USD majors. Joseph, yes, we could take a look at gold, no problemo. Okay, might take weeks or months to get back to that level. Okay, yeah, fair enough, Bashi. No need to force it as well. Yeah, don't worry, I took an L on dollar CAD. That one was painful, I'm not gonna lie, because we were so close to hit and take profit, but then dollar CAD just decided it wanted to mess with me. Look at the position here. Really nice entry, down at the lows. Lovely momentum. Price came back into resistance. Yeah, okay, fair enough. We might see a bit of noise here. And then we had some CAD strength kick in, and the price come back down and takes me out the trade when we're about, 75% of the way there. So yeah, not a fun trade to take, I'm not gonna lie, not a fun trade. But again, you got to focus on the process, because the market's going to be painful 100%. Even if you're the best trader in the world, you will go through some painful experiences. And I don't think there's. I think what's the worst feeling trading? I'll probably say. That's the worst feeling. I'm not gonna lie. Being in profit, a good proportion to your take profit, and then either coming back to break even or a loss. I think that they both feel just as bad. Yeah, at least the break even, you don't take a loss, but it still just doesn't feel great. I'll say that's worse than taking like 3 losses in a row. 5 losses, maybe not. But I think that's more painful, at least in my opinion anyway. Anyway, let me take a look at gold. So yeah, gold, I'm just gonna let this one be for the time being. Of course, super bearish with that move in the past couple of days. In the bigger picture, I'm still very bullish on this one. Nothing's significantly changed with the price action. I always say, zoom out, look at the bigger picture, put context into perspective here. Yes, we've had a big crash there, but if you look at the daily chart, look at the bigger picture, nothing's really changed significantly. I drew the fib early in the stream just to really illustrate that. We haven't actually even reached the 0.382. I don't even look at the 0.382 in terms of pullback opportunities. Normally in FX, you're normally looking at 50 and below. But we haven't even reached 0.382. So it's in the context of the swing, it's not such a big pullback. Of course, I know in context of price, it is a pretty big pullback from almost 4,400 to 4K. So it is quite a big drop in price. But if you're dealing with price action, you're dealing with opportunity, I think this drop is just providing us a pullback to get back into the position. Now, I don't think it's quite ready yet. I'm still just keeping a close eye. I'm kind of waiting for us to maybe consolidate a little bit, or maybe correctively start to lose momentum, and then we can start building up and taking some buys. Momentum picks up, or maybe try and pick the low here. Definitely be a more aggressive trade, but if you catch it well, you could be well positioned for a swing back to highs and a lot further too. So it is quite appealing to see if you can catch that low. Otherwise, you can just scale in with some intraday opportunities as momentum picks up. Alright, take care, Basheen. Okay, no worries, my man. Go help your friend. Lebsy, he is on to me, the market maker. I don't know if I did something to offend him recently. It was the megaphone guy. Okay, yeah. Megaphone guy, electric saw guy going nuts. Yeah, I know. It's like they wait for me to go live. Not even instantly I go live. They wait for me to kind of get my rhythm going. And then they're like, yeah, let's do something. So poor. LFTJ. Okay, cool. We'll take a look at BTC. I think the same situation applies to BTC as well. We've got a bit of a down move. Just again waiting for opportunities to buy it back up really. Pound CAD, I completely forgot about that, Precious, my bad. We'll take a look at Pound CAD. I know, Bashi, I know. It was looking great, but then, I don't know. CAD just said, no, not today. Yeah. Trends being swerved and seeing price rip, yeah. There's a lot of bad feelings in trading. A lot of good ones as well. Yeah, okay, so I'll go through Pound CAD for Precious, and then I'll take a look at Silver and UJ for Malik. Early one, CHF always pushing now. If it finishes early, I'll get into other yen pairs that are still setting up. Okay, cool. Yeah, Swiss yen's been the strongest. Swiss has been so strong. Swiss yen's been the yen pair that's trended the best, to be honest. And that one got to highs yesterday. So yeah, looking good there with Swiss yen. Hopefully pound yen can join the party. Psychology's king, so okay for you. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to take losses. I generally think that if you can stomach losses really well, becoming profitable is literally just a matter of time. I think losses and just the feeling of losses is such a big hindrance in traders. And I know because it's been a hindrance in my trading career as well. And yeah, it's just a painful event losing money. No one wants to lose money, but if you can just stomach losses, not even just like just see losses as just a part of the game. You can kind of have that perspective. Easier said than done, but it will be such a game changer. If you take losses too seriously, it will crush you. Anywho, so Pound CAD, we've come into an interesting area. This has been so consistent with all these higher lows. So consistent. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, is it going to see another one potentially? As long as we don't take out this low here, I'll remain pretty bullish. I mean, we could take out that low, come here, and then see a bounce as well. But this is still a very bullish market, so the plan is primarily looking for longs. Now, it is a market which is quite corrective, and yes, showing some signs that we could be running out of steam and getting ready for a bigger drop soon. But I wouldn't try and force that sell. This electric guy is really going for it. Whatever he's making must be absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, Pound CAD's in a really nice place for a buy. So I would suggest keep a close eye to see how momentum does interact with the zone. At the moment, of course, we had a really strong drop there and pounds look super weak. So I would not want to be jumping straight into that. I want price to kind of settle first, maybe try and give us a bit of a fake out, see some strength come in, then maybe the next pullback after that could be a smart trade. Because at that point, it looks like we've got the low in, and now we could be looking to try and bet on the continuation. Trying to call the low here is just a very difficult thing to do, especially when you've got all this momentum going against you. So I do think pound CAD's coming to an interesting area. Basically, anywhere in here is an interesting area. But yeah, we're looking so aggressively bearish right now. So I wouldn't try and force anything just yet. I think be patient. It's a nice place for a buy. We do have a pretty clear uptrend, which we can take advantage of. But there's no real kind of evidence that this is about to turn. So I'll wait for things to develop, even if I drop a bit more intraday. Yeah, there's nothing there. So yeah, keep an eye on pound CAD. Interesting location, but nothing to support buys yet. We'll go through silver and UJ next. We'll take a look at Euro Yen as well. We'll go through pound Aussie too. Yeah, exactly. Very, very true. Very, very true. Losses. The thing about losses as well, because inherently you think losses, you're doing something wrong, and because of that, you think you need to change something. So essentially, every loss you take is it's kind of like an opportunity to change something, which maybe you do need to change something, maybe, but most of the time, probably not, especially if you really spent a lot of time developing a plan, developing a system. It's going to have losses anyway, so you're going to have to expect that. If you keep changing something every time you lose, then you're never going to get anywhere. And again, easier said than done, but it needs to be done regardless. In terms of silver, so silver, same situation as gold, but I do think with silver, there's actually a nice short opportunity here. I do think price can have at least one more push down. So I'm looking at the price action here, really heavy selling pressure. We broke structure there. Another really aggressive push back down. I do think that's a smart place for a short, around 49.5. Brief supply zone, gave us a nice push down. I would bet on a push back into support. Now, the thing with shorts here for silver, yes, there's a lot of momentum in the market. Shorts do make sense, but still, I wouldn't be looking for a big move. If I was to get short here, I'll probably call it a day as soon as we get back into the low. Maybe if you want to try and stretch trade, you can leave a bit to run. Of course, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But the reason why I'd be really aggressive with this short and try and get out when I have the chance is because it's still very bullish, and I expect buyers to kick back in pretty soon, to be honest. So yeah, shorts look good because of what we've just had, but I wouldn't start banking on this happening here. It could, but probability is very, very low. So intraday, I think shorts look good. Long term, I'm kind of just waiting for this to kind of fizzle out, start to pick up some bullish structure again, and I'm looking to take it back to highs. And that could take some time, but yeah, still very much looking to attack the buys, but not quite there yet for me. If anything, intraday sells look good. Yeah, that's what Rashi mentioned earlier. Saw a bit of a drop there in pound. What's up, Livia? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Pound CAD and Euro Aussie. Yeah, we just had a look at pound CAD. I think it's at a nice place for a buy. It's just a little bit too early to buy it yet because we've just seen that massive bearish candle. Of course, pound CAD, another pound pair. So we've seen a really strong bearish close. I wouldn't want to just buy straight into that, but we are in a nice zone where things can definitely turn around. So I'll keep an eye on pound CAD in this area for the turn, but it's just too early to say really, because we could still keep falling as well. That's of course a possibility, but this is clearly the low that gave us the high. So let's see what price can do in that area. I'll take a look at UJ in a second. Let me Euro Aussie in a second. Let me just go through UJ and Euro Yen and GA first. So yeah, with dollar yen, I am favoring the bullish camp here, but it's not really a yen pair I'm looking to buy. I don't think it looks as good as some of the other yen pairs personally, so it's not really a yen pair I'm looking to get involved with. But we have been picking up some nice momentum. You can see with these higher lows here, very continuous, 1, 2, 3. Could we see a fourth? I was talking about this idea last week. If we could see a push down, fill the gap there, test the trend line, it would be in a great place to see another higher low form. And then I could bet on a push back to highs and maybe further as well. So I am quite bullish here for dollar yen. We've seen a really nice close yesterday, so is that telling us that, okay, price has had a pullback, perhaps retested the high here, and is now ready to push? That could be the case. I just think it's quite in an awkward place, so I'm not that convinced. But if I had to trade dollar yen, I would be looking at some intraday buys, probably as we come into this area here. If I go to the 4 hour quick, you can see we had a nice consolidation, shot to the upside, so a really aggressive move. If price can come back and retest that, what I'm looking to bet on is that this kind of V shape still has a bit more room to the upside. I'm looking at a pullback and a continuation, and of course I'll be betting on this zone holding. So I don't mind that. I'm not in love with it. I'd rather this be here, then yes, I'll look to try and buy. Because when I'm looking to follow trends, location is a big thing for me. And especially when you've got basically an ascending channel here, you know, primarily this zone here is where I'm looking to sell if I am looking to sell. And primarily this zone here is where I'm looking to buy. So this is where I want to get involved if I'm buying. This is where I want to get involved if I'm selling. And the middle is just where I want to stay away from. And this is kind of coming back into the seller's territory. Not that we can't keep going, we can. It's just that this is where I want to find most of my long trades. And that's where I'll find most of my short trades. So that's why I'm a bit more apprehensive of the buy. But because it's short term, it's intraday, you can get away with it. You don't have to be looking for such a big move. It can just be a push back to the high, and that could be a healthy return. So you can get away with it in that regard. In terms of Euro Yen, so Euro Yen, I'm pretty bullish on this one. It was a very similar setup to Pound Yen. In terms, we've got the retest of the high here. And I'm looking for price to push back to this high here at 177.6. Nice close yesterday, not magnificent because you can see price is kind of stuck in this range here. So although it did have a nice close, kind of just closed into resistance, so it kind of defeats the purpose really. If it closed above it, that's something unique because that will symbolize a breakout and the chance of us continuing back to the next level, but we haven't done that. So we could see Euro Yen potentially push back into the support here. Now what I'm looking at for Euro Yen is a very convincing Apologies, guys. Had to buy some more data. We're back. At least I think I am. Is my sound on? Yeah, it looks like it's on. Yeah, apologies, people. I'm joking. I didn't have to buy some more data. I don't know why it just cut like that, to be honest. I mean, I've been buying so much data. It's insane. Okay, what was I talking about? I was talking about Euro Yen, wasn't I? Yeah, we'll go for Euro Yen and GA, and then I'll take a look at Euro Aussie. Burrito. Yes, we'll take a look at dollar CHF as well, no problem. Exactly, you have to lose. You have to lose. The only reason I sometimes lose a trade is because I still can't figure out what the complete end of the trend is. That's the only thing that causes losses. It's true, because especially when you got a trend situation, because the whole point of a trend continuation is that you're looking for, of course, the trend to continue. But of course, at what point does the trend not continue anymore? And unless you've got some unprecedented information that no one else has, you're never going to really know when that trend's going to continue. Because at the same time, you might have the feeling that a trend might not continue anymore, but then if it does and you miss out on a good buy, then you're kind of killing your profits there a little bit by overthinking too much, to be honest. So yeah, in the situation of a trend, the reason why you do take a loss is because, of course, the trend reverses, or maybe, yeah, I mean, that's probably most of the reason, to be honest. So we might get spiked out and the trend does continue, but it can always re-enter. To truly take a loss is because the trend didn't actually continue. Anywho, so yeah, we'll go through Euro Yen, GA, Euro, Aussie as well, dollar CHF. Euro Yen's the curse. Okay, so yeah, as I was saying with Euro Yen, very bullish on this one. I do expect a lot more upside. However, we are really struggling at resistance here. So what I would suggest, if you're looking to buy this one, the best place would just be back at lows. Let me just remove that. We've got too many lines going on. The best place would just be back at lows, because if you can find an entry here, that means you can put a stop underneath the low here and then anticipate maybe a bit of a double bottom, even if maybe if price spikes to low, that would be nice. And then you got targets back to resistance here. If you want to look for the big swing back to highs, that makes sense as well. So yeah, Euro Yen for me is still very much a bullish market. You can try to maybe anticipate a higher low forming, because what you do have is some bullish structure here. High, low, high. You could be looking at another higher low forming for another higher high. The only reason why I wouldn't bet on that is because overall this is really choppy price action. So I don't really want to be getting too sucked into that, to be honest. I'd rather look to try and buy a low in this, or wait for us to break highs and then look for continuations above that. I think that's the higher probability opportunity. Inside here, it's just a bit too noisy in my opinion. So yeah, Euro Yen, bullish bias, expecting more upside. In terms of GA, Michael, you said you're looking to buy that one. Now I'm pretty bullish on GA as well, but I'm being quite hesitant of GA because we just had a very interesting rejection here. I was in a long position. Was it 2 weeks ago or last week? I think, yeah, last week. I was in a long position last week. I was looking to target the high there. It didn't quite happen. I got trailed out somewhere around here. But I did say I still do have that bullish bias. I still do think price can get there. However, we've just seen a really aggressive reaction, as if price wants to put another lower high in. We've got some equal highs dating back here. Then we kind of put a lower high there. We've put a lower low. Looks like price put another lower high in potentially. I wouldn't be totally surprised if we do get back to support, to be honest. So do I really still want to take some buys here, knowing that we've had that rejection? No, not really. Because what I'd be saying is, I don't think this is a lower high. I'm just betting that price will just rip through that, which could be the case, but I do think not necessarily a high probability opportunity, especially when momentum is really picking up. So what I would suggest for GA, if you are looking for longs, I would wait for price to push right back to lows. Or if anything, intraday, I think shorts actually look pretty good. And you could see price pull back into here and probably push back down again. So if you're looking to buy GA, I would wait for 2.2 205 and look for some longs at that low, or if anything, shorts around that zone there. I'm trying to look for some intraday continuation. I wouldn't be trying to buy here. Again, I don't have a crystal ball. Maybe price does push up, but judging from price action, I wouldn't be so confident with some buys there. Okay, so we'll go through Euro Aussie, and then I'll take a look at dollar CHF. Appreciate it, CS. Okay, take care, Bashi. Have a good one, my man. See you later. Hey, what's up, Lighton? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing good. Okay, so Euro Aussie, kind of a similar situation to Pound Aussie, which is we had some nice upside last week. I was actually looking to buy this one. Unfortunately, I did miss the trade. We had a lovely pullback here. I was looking for it to come a little bit deeper, take the low and then push, but unfortunately not to be. Lovely move to the upside regardless though. But yeah, Euro Aussie for me stuck in a range. Olivia, let me know what you're looking at for Euro Aussie, because personally, I'm not the biggest fan of where we're trading right now. Okay, you're looking for a buy in Euro Aussie. So I would be looking for buys as well for Euro Aussie, because overall this is pretty clear uptrend. I'll be still actively trying to find long position in this situation. I wouldn't probably looking to short this one unless we break support there, because if we do, then I would expect us to get there. So that's the only scenario for now which I would be happy to short. So I would be looking at longs, but the only place I like the longs would actually be the low, similar to GA, looking for a price to come right to the low, or waiting for price to break resistance here. Then I can be confident, or at least more confident, to bet on a push back to highs. Because of course, if this uptrend is going to continue, then we should get back there. But I wouldn't try and actively try and buy that until this resistance goes. Because if this resistance goes, then yeah, there's a very high chance we go and hit the next level. Besides from that, this is a range. Price is kind of coming into the middle, which is where the most noise will be. I understand this might be a pullback for us to continue higher, but I can't be confident that it is. Therefore, I will leave it alone. So it's either picking up some longs at the low here, or waiting for price to break the highs, then longs. That's the only two setups that make sense. And I know we're kind of nowhere near any of those two forming right now, but otherwise I wouldn't be, yeah. I mean, again, you said you're looking for a buy as well, so we have the same kind of bias in terms of direction. But the timing, I'd wait for highs to go or push back to low before trying to chase that. Yes, we'll go through dollar CHF next. Holy One, remember saying Aussie CHF last week for the 4 hour. Got all three major pullbacks, but the fourth one took a L. But why? I can't still figure out the complete end of the trend. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be absolutely perfect, Holy One. I mean, when you do have a trend, the idea is to take advantage of the pullbacks. In that case, you got three major pullbacks. Maybe another case you might get two, another case you might get four, or maybe even more. But eventually, if you're going to keep, that's completely fine. We're back. Apologies again, folks. I will connect to Wi-Fi at some point. I'm just using my 4G at the moment. But as I was saying about the pullbacks and Aussie CHF, when you do have a pullback strategy, you're looking to buy the dips or sell the highs, of course. But eventually, one of those pullbacks is going to fail. But it's fine because there's only one of those. If the trend's going to continue, you're going to see pullbacks happen, price reach new highs or reach new lows, and eventually one of those is going to fail. And that's where kind of risk to reward comes in, or even win rate. If you catch three, lose one, or even if you catch one, lose three. If the one's big enough to pay for the three, then again it doesn't really matter in the long run either. So yeah, no matter what strategy, you will take a hit eventually. unless you become some insane predictor in terms of when the trend's going to reverse. Yeah, Swiss yen we'll take a look at. Rodrigo, no problem. Lighton, Aussie dollar, dollar yen we'll take a look at as well. Yes, I am in a hotel, but the internet's not great, to be honest. So that's why I'm using my data. If I was using the internet, the hotel, I don't think we'll be able to connect, to be honest. So data is the best solution for now. Okay, so we'll take a look at dollar CHF. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't think as a retail trader we'll have the information. I mean, maybe as time continues, indicators will improve. You know, trading technicals will improve as well. The funny thing is, all of that has improved in the last 20 years, but the data of, at least from broker statements, of the ratio between losing traders and winning traders hasn't really budged. Still about 75-80% of the time, maybe even a bit higher than that, but most brokers it's kind of around the 80% mark of losing traders to winning traders. So even in another 10 years, especially with AI advancing, you know, you expect a lot more improvement in the average trader. But I don't know. Will you? Maybe. I guess we have to wait and see. I think for the people who know how to use it right, they will improve. But the average, the crowd, I'm not too sure if the crowd will improve. I think that's always the balance of the markets, really. Because of course people who know, because the advancements in the past 20 years, you know, people who know how to use it well, you know, have definitely profited from it, but not everyone. Anyway, so dollar CHF, let me go to the weekly. So yeah, dollar CHF is an interesting one. Another USD pair. You know, dollar has been strong. Is USD CHF going to push higher potentially? But it does have a lot of resistance above its head there, so I would be quite careful with this one. I like the wick here, essentially saying, okay, support across here is held, and price has done this again. So it doesn't really look like price is set to continue back to lows. But can I say with confidence that price is about to rocket to the moon there and change trend? No, not really either. So I probably would wait for price to see that move, break highs, and then be looking for the pullbacks afterwards. Ideally, I probably want to take out that high as well, because this is actually the high that gave us the low. So this high wouldn't really mean too much. It might mean a bit more upside, but we could still very much respect this area, come right back down. So for like a reversal situation, for more of a swing approach, this is the high you want to see go. Intraday, yes, we've seen some strength come into play. You might take some nice buys on a pullback, but again, I wouldn't be trying to look for big moves here. Had a very aggressive move back down. Yeah, this would be an interesting area to look at. We're kind of coming into an area of supply to our left, so I wouldn't be buying here either. I don't think dollar CHF is just a great buy looking at the technicals and the fact that CHF has been so strong as well. You're looking for the dollar to outperform the Swiss franc, which it can do, but for long periods of time it's going to be difficult. USD is going to have to be really strong for that to happen. So yes, on some pullbacks, you might catch some intraday opportunities to buy that back up again. But as we come higher, you know, I'd watch out around here, 0.8. I can't be convinced on a reversal here for dollar CHF. No problem, Rodrigo. I'll go through Swiss yen next, I think. Yeah, Swiss yen. I'll take a look at no. Yes, no. Yeah, Swiss yen next. Then we'll go through Aussie dollar and dollar yen for Lighten. Find Ethernet ports in the room. Connect via RJ45 cable instead. Okay, I have no idea what that is, but I will look into that. CS, you definitely know a bit more about me about whatever that is. For best internet, Ken, you're not bragging. Yeah, very, very true. Holy one. It feels like everyone's winning where 80% are losing traders. It's true. There's the big discrepancy between online and the actual stats, which is why, you know, looking at online is just such a, it's not good. It's not good for the average trader, especially if you're on your come up, you're working on your craft. I feel like a lot of social media is a big distraction. Of course, don't get me wrong, there's help on the social media as well. You can definitely learn a lot. I mean, even when I was starting 8 years ago, there wasn't as much online as there is now, but there was still a few traders that I was looking up to and learning from as well. But of course, in today's age, there's everything I had times 100. So I do think a lot of it is noise, to be honest, and that goes for pretty much everything, to be honest. So yeah, I do think that's a crazy realization as well. It's like everyone seems to be winning, but I'm always getting told like 90% of traders fail. Doesn't really look like that. Lebsy, my Forex fund's making a comeback. I don't know about that, to be honest. I think trust is a huge element in this space, in the Forex space, trading space. And yeah, I think that trust is broken, to be honest. It's not so much. It's more about kind of the way, you know, they dealt with their business. Yeah, I'd never forget, slip them to hell. I think that's just crazy on my part. So yeah, I think for me anyway, I'm not too sure about anyone else and other people, but for me, trust is a huge element in trading, especially for prop firm as well, because you're going to give money and then you're going to hopefully pass the challenge and hopefully look for payouts. But if you can't have confidence that that's the case, then yeah, the trust is lost, and I would pursue. Unless that wasn't the case, unless they didn't say that. I don't know for sure, but from what I've read. Range Walker, what's up, my man? Why do you not use indicators in your technical analysis? I do sometimes use moving averages, but most of the time with my technical analysis, it's chart patterns, and that's my indicator, if you will. So I'm looking at patterns within price, and indicators are great, but in terms of the patterns that I trade, the entry signal I will get will always happen before indicators do line up, and it's simply because indicators are a little bit lagging. So because I rely so much on chart patterns, there's actually a big contradiction between chart patterns and indicators. Well, at least lagging indicators. There are some leading indicators, but even then they don't really provide much information to myself, because normally I can see it on the chart anyway. But yeah, in terms of lagging indicators, with chart patterns, there's a delay, so it's actually it doesn't really help myself too much in terms of the way I trade, especially like when I'm trying to catch lows, because for example, if you look at the RSI, that'll probably be oversold, but the market can always go a bit more before it does push up. So for me, it's more important to rely on price than what the RSI is saying. Moving averages are good. I do use them from time to time. but more so as support and resistance rather than direction. I just should look at highs and lows for direction as well. So I don't use indicators because they're bad, which is kind of like the unspoken truth. Like indicators are bad. Don't use indicators. Indicators are great, but you need to design a plan that takes advantage of what indicators are good at. And if you look a lot at price action in terms of chart patterns, flag patterns, continuation, break and retest, a lot of indicators will give you the confirmation to support the trade after it's already in play. Of course, most of the time, LFTJ, most of the time, too much information is poisonous. Yeah, 100%, 100%. A lot of trading, not necessarily who knows the most. It's more so who can be precise. That's normally the key to the game. Precision. It's not necessarily okay. I know 100 different things, therefore I know where the market's going to go. Because the funny thing is, you might know these 100 different things, but number one, you're still going to get it wrong eventually, and number two, you could probably learn another 100 different things as well. Like, there's so many different avenues to learn. There's so much you can go through. You can spend your whole life learning about the market. And the funny thing is, you still probably get it wrong as well at some point. So it's more about precision and risk management. If you can get that down to a T, it doesn't really matter if you have the simplest strategy known to man. As long as you can trade at the right moments, there's an edge. There's an edge to, if you think about it, if you've got a trend, 80% of the time, the market will come back to the high. You can develop an edge just understanding that idea. Even in a range, if you've got a range, the market's not breaking highs, not breaking lows, simply looking to try and take advantage of opportunities at the low or the high of the range, you can develop an edge there as well. So you don't need to have something crazy to develop an edge, but you do need precision, you do need timing, you do need risk management. Those are the main things you need to focus on. Okay, so in terms of what I was going to look at, completely slipped my mind. Swiss yen, there we go. Then I'll go through Aussie dollar and dollar yen for Lighton. Probably thinks I'm forgetting about him. Okay, in terms of Swiss yen, looks like we're kind of stuck at highs a little bit here. Don't get me wrong, very, very bullish market. I've talked about a push to 200. I think that's the next big psychological level for this one. So I think personally with this uptrend, there's probably still a lot more upside to it. However, I'll be a bit more cautious with this one just because we're going to hit highs. I think if we can get a strong break of this, great. We'll bet on the next continuation. Repeat what's the market doing. I was coming into the week hoping for a retest of this structure here. In hindsight, of course, we haven't got that, but that pullback can still happen. Yeah, I think for Swiss yen, I'm still very bullish on this one, but I just would be a bit cautious at the high here because we're back in resistance. So see the price rallies through, then I would bet on the continuation of the next leg because at least I've got that to my back. If we do roll over here, then you're either looking at a pushback to this low or the retest of the high. But either which way, I'm still actively looking to buy the market. If we zoom out, look at the bigger picture, look how bullish this market is. Of course, at some point, it's going to have its retracement. But until we get some signs of that happening, I would just stick with the longs for now. Actually, the only exception is making back the rest of the noise. Yeah, exactly. Sitter from Alpha CEO is wild. That's not even from like a random employee. From a CEO is insane because that's like top down. It would be different if the CEO was like, "Let me look after my traders. I want the best for my traders." Then you had some like evil employee that said that. Okay, fair enough. You can't necessarily control that. entirely. But if you've literally got the person running the business saying that, then for me, I'm not too sure how you can come back from that. I mean, people have come back from worse, to be honest, so I wouldn't be too surprised if my Forex funds do come back and everything is all rosy. But personally, for me, that's kind of crazy. Interesting. Would price pattern analysts be complemented by VWAP? I've never really used the VWAP, to be honest, so I can't comment too much on that. I haven't really used the VWAP, to be honest, so I can't. To be fair, I haven't used quite a lot of indicators. The most indicators I've spent the most time on are moving averages, RSI, stochastics. I mean, I don't really. You can classify fib as an indicator as well. It's a leading indicator though. To be honest, it's actually those are the only indicators that I've really spent the most time on. I've dabbled here and there with some others, especially early days. Like what's the one? Bollinger Japan. Yeah, I've spent a bit of time with that. That was years ago. I'm forgetting. There's more. What's the cloud one? Ichimoku Cloud, I think. So yeah, VWAP. I haven't actually explored that. I haven't actually explored that, to be honest. So I can't comment too much on that. If it's a leading indicator, if it can give you the here and now, then it can actually have some type of benefit if you're going to use chart patterns. If it lags, then there's always going to be that discrepancy between the two. And again, if it does lag, that's not the end of the world. You can still use that to your benefit. It's just that when you get your entry for the chart pattern, it will happen before the indicator does set up. So when the indicator does set up, you'll be entering a little bit later, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means you got a bit more confirmation to support the trade. You're entering a little bit later, but you can be a bit more confident it plays out. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that with the way I like to trade, I like to be in it just before the moves happen. So I'm taking an aggressive entry with the expectation that if it does play out, I've got a decent risk reward opportunity. So I like to be a bit early. With an indicator, especially a lagging one, it will get me in a little bit later, which kind of defeats the purpose. So the lag isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just for the style I'm trying to, for the style I'm trading, it doesn't suit it. Let me go through Aussie dollar. If I have missed the pair out, let me know. But anyway, Aussie dollar has been a bit of a ruckus, to be fair. This has been up and down. I quite like how the bodies are all kind of symmetrical, to be honest. They're all kind of just congested in this little box here. I've got two really aggressive wicks to the downside. So basically, I'm bearish in Aussie dollar. I'm looking to sell. And this is the zone I was speaking about last week. I said if price can pull back there, that could be a lovely place for some shorts back into a supply zone. We had a really aggressive move down. I do think this is an area which we can see a continuation from. However, of course, we haven't actually got there yet. And we're still testing this bullish area right now, which gave us this last bullish leg. So I don't really want to be selling in this area. This, for me, is bullish territory. Maybe price does break through, but it's not going to be with the trade for myself because I want to position myself where no buyers are exiting and where sellers could be entering. And that would be up there. And of course, I would wait for my entry triggers to support the trade. So that's what I'm waiting to see if Aussie dollar can get to. Right now, it's very flat. I don't really know what's going on here, to be honest. So personally, if it was just me looking to trade the market here, I'll just skip on really quickly. Unless I'm trying to entertain a buy, some counter trend opportunities here. Not really my trade either, but I can see the logic behind that, especially with the 2 wicks on the daily chart. But yeah, if you do get that pullback, basically looking for the pullback of this leg here, and then trying to bet on another lower high. I don't mind that at all. But in there, I'm not the biggest fan. And in terms of UJ, UJ, like I said, could be some nice buys here. I'm not the biggest fan either of this one. I've said that a lot today. Just because, again, we've got this ascending channel. Typically, I want to be positioning myself as close to this area as possible. if I'm looking to long, or of course looking to sell from here as close as possible as well. Yeah, close to that possible as well. So yeah, to me, I'm really it's just in an awkward position. Yes, price has seen some nice momentum the past couple days, past day actually, and we could very much bounce in and see a continuation, but I wouldn't be looking for anything crazy. I think if you can just keep it intraday, bounce off a clear level of demand. We've seen an aggressive push, so you can be pretty confident that we can bounce from that zone. But would I be confident on this? No, not necessarily. So yeah, dollar yen, I'll play it short and sweet. I like this opportunity just for this move here. I wouldn't be looking for anything more. Kind of run the risk of price doing that. But yeah, this was the zone I was talking about last week. You know, fill the gap back at the low of the channel. I think that would be a great place to buy, but doesn't look like dollar yen wants to go there. So yeah, hopefully that made sense for Aussie dollar and UJ. Zach, I still see people like ICT overcomplicate things. Very high win rate, just on pullbacks with moving averages and liquidity grab. No sense. None of that. We've got nonsense then. It balances sweep jargon. Yeah, the thing is, there's so many different ways to trade, and what I will say is about more sophisticated strategies. Trying to be very political here. To the average trader, retail trader, in their head, the more detail a strategy has, the more profitable they think it will be. So ICT, in my eyes, is a really, really good marketer. Really good marketer. Because the content he has created behind the strategy ICT has literally hit the nail on the head about the itch a lot of new traders have about looking for sophisticated and detailed approach to the market. Everyone has that itch. You know, candlestick patterns are great, but it doesn't quite solve it for me. I need something a lot more in depth than that to feel like I'm on the right track. And ICT solved that in such a gigantic way, to be honest. So that's why the spread of the ICT agenda has been insane. And the thing is, SMC did the exact same thing. I'm not sure who kind of made that popular, but SMC was the ICT before ICT, and it goes to the same situation. But yeah, I fully agree, early on. LFTJ, you're a C chef looking for a swing setup. Okay, we can discuss that as well. No way, used the Ichimoku as well. But now relies on playing chart. Far away we come. I know. I think you have to go through that kind of noisy period to get to a bit more of a calm period. Yeah, less is normally more in trading. And it feels like it shouldn't be. Mota, on your concept, could you rank these variables price, time, volume? I mean, in FX, volume is always a little bit difficult because it's hard to gauge volume. It's not like a future market where you can kind of be a bit more sure of what volume's present at the time. In FX, you've got so many different components. Different brokerage will show you different volumes. There's so many interchangeable transactions that happen around the world, which are not through the market or through a brokerage as well. So volume is always difficult to predict, but you can always say that during the London session, between 7 a.m. UK time and 10 a.m., 11 a.m. around there, there's going to be heightened volume. The crossover between London to New York, heightened volume, and even the Asian session will provide some heightened volume, but of course London, New York is bigger. So volume and time for me are quite similar in the FX markets. Other markets you can trade, volume will have a little bit more of a say, but I predominantly focus on FX. So volume and time for me are quite similar. So I would say if you're intraday trading, time is quite important because you don't want to be entering out of session. So timing for me is very important. I'm not so in detail in time because you can get some nice trades out of session, but most of the time in session, you're going to find some nice opportunities. London, New York, anytime in there. For me, I'm not really bothered if it's London or New York, I get the trade. As for swing, it could be pretty much any time, to be honest. As for price, in terms of where price is trading, for me, I think that's so important. Because I think that's the fundamental value of what we're doing. You're either betting that price is going to go higher in a very bullish market and your price has been going higher, then you're looking for it to go a bit higher, or price is super, super low, you think it's undervalued and now it has to push up a bit. You're either looking to do one of the two, really. You're not really doing anything in the middle. It's either price is super high, you think it can go higher, or it's super low and it's time for it to bounce. You're doing one of those two, and of course for selling, vice versa. So I think location and where price is really important too. So I would say price number one, and then time and volume number two. I think VWAP is something to give price analysis. Look up Brandon Shannon, it's bad time. Got far VWAP, just my 2 cents. Yeah, I definitely look at it. I'm always open to learn, to be honest. You know, I've been training for a long time, but every year I always learn something big, to be honest. I mean, it doesn't have to be technical analysis, it can be something outside. But yeah, I'm always looking to improve, looking to get better. I'm planning to look into some Wyckoff theory. I never actually got around to Wyckoff, to be honest, but I've been planning to look into that. And yeah, sure, VWAP, I can definitely give that a look as well. Brandon Shannon, bit of a tongue twister there. I can definitely look into that as well. Appreciate that, Range Walker. I thought, big thanks. I've forgotten your name. Because of course the name tags have changed. So I've completely forgotten your name. I know it's not Big Thanks though. But yeah, I'll take a look at oil and BTC for you, no problem. No problem, Lighton, happy to help. No way, you were part of the I Am Academy. What a throwback. Use the Ichimoku as well. It's a mess, don't trade inside the cloud. I was never part of the I Am Academy, but I always saw that and I thought that was crazy at the time. There's a huge cult. Happy to help, Motta, no problem. True learning ICT concept makes you feel like you're doing PhD, exactly. And again, it's the feeling of that you're doing the PhD makes you think you're on the right track. It's not necessarily what you're learning, because you can look back and look at some of the great traders of the past who still trade to this day. Some of them have the most simplest strategies. I mean, just go read Market Wizards. They didn't study ICT to make their millions, billions even, not even millions. So it's the feeling of learning that you're doing something really intense is why ICT is so successful. Because if ICT was just a simple like break and retest something variation pattern, it wouldn't be near as successful. The reason why ICT is so successful and so widespread is because it does feel like you're doing the PhD. I'm not saying it's a good or bad strategy. I'm just saying it's that feeling why it's so widespread. Francis, can you go to bed earlier, man? What is going on outside? I always do that. As soon as my stream stops, they're going to stop as well. Anyway, let's go through oil and BTC. So yeah, oil I'm still pretty bearish on. We spoke about pushback here yesterday. It looks like we've just come shy of that, and it looks like we're seeing some upside momentum. But I just think it's an opportunity to short the market. Let me drop intraday. So I spoke about two areas. Now, I don't like how we pulled back, to be honest. I did say watch out for how we pull back. I don't like how we pull back here. I spoke about this area here for a short, but looking at that, that's not good. Strong push down, consolidation, strong push back up. That's not typical typical pullback. Typical pullbacks to this, strong push down, slow grindy move up. Maybe sometimes it starts a bit faster, then it turns a bit more grindy, but these are your more higher probability pullback opportunities. When it's like this, that's more reversal. Not to say we can't do that, it's all a probability game, but I don't like the way we pull back there. So I wouldn't mind if we have a bit more upside to this zone. This is the second zone I mentioned. Really nice push down. We haven't actually come back for the retest. Perhaps you could see price pull back, go put that next major lower high in. We've got one over there, second. Perhaps we go put a third in and then get the swing. So, I mean, you can see how price reacts here, but I wouldn't be confident for a big swing down. I'll be more confident up here now. But yeah, still very, very bearish on oil. So this bullish momentum not really doing anything for me apart from just trying to gauge how far we could push before we do get ready for the sells. And yeah, 55, still looking for price to hit that. Then as for BTC, again, as a whole, still really bullish on as well, but just being a bit more cautious. I do think there's a bit more downside to be had. I really like the way we came back down yesterday, I'm not going to lie. I said yesterday we might run back to highs and then push down. We did that, but it was a quite aggressive move. And now we've had a really aggressive move back down. So to me, this just looks like another correction. See, if oil looked a bit more like this, that would be a nice pattern for a pullback, but always a bit more aggressive. So yeah, I do think we'll probably drop here for BTC. So I just don't think Bitcoin is ready to buy yet. There is this zone underneath I'm keeping a close eye on. Let's see if we can get there and start to slow down. Perhaps that could turn around. I'll see how we unfold over the next few weeks. And we've got a massive area down here too. So if BTC does want to go through another crisis, another big drop, well, around 90 to 80k I think is a really nice zone as well. So it depends what Bitcoin wants to do. Do we hold this 100k level? Maybe. We'll see when we get there. If not, we do have some lower levels we can look to buy. But overall, let's look at this on a weekly chart. Still a very convincing uptrend to me. So despite the momentum we've seen in recent days, doesn't do anything to the bigger picture. Still a very, very bullish market, and still actively looking to try and buy that. But yeah, intraday I do think we'll spill over. Yeah, true. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely on that wave. Astro FX wave. I was watching all their videos. What's their series they did? Technical Tuesdays. Yeah, I was watching that all the time. Yeah. They were the first two people that I really started to follow on social media in trading. So yeah, I can't lie. I was on that wave. I was riding that. I'm still a big fan of Sean, to be honest. I'm still a big fan of Sean. Although he's gone off the face of the earth, but still a big fan of Sean. Not much, to be fair, Francis. Not much. ICT so witchcraft. What's been happening with GA and Euro Aussie? Pretty bearish, to be honest. You said you were looking to short them. They've been falling quite well. I'm looking at this on like the daily chart. I do think they're probably likely to keep pushing lower. Pound Aussie looks like it's kind of failed at the highs there. Looks like to me he's put another lower high in. So I'm not going to be convinced about this up move. I think long term, yeah, but I wouldn't be looking for buy straight away. So I do think GA can still push down a little bit further here. Maybe a bit of an intraday correction, then another move down. And Euro Aussie as well. Euro Aussie as well looks pretty bearish to me. Not as good as pound Aussie. I think Euro Aussie were kind of stuck in a bit of a range here. So I wouldn't be so keen to try and trade that. At least with GA, there's a slight direction. There's like descend to the market. Here's kind of just, you know, very, very flat. So the better areas to do business will be up there and down there. But equally, we've had a strong rejection at the high. Perhaps we do roll over. Now, from more of a swing perspective, I do think we can see a more upside because, you know, overall I'm looking to try and play that trend. So I'm either looking for buys at the low here or a breakout of that high there. Anything in here I'm not too interested, but I do think we might see a bit more downside for GA's case. I mean, they're the same market almost, so they probably will push down together, but I think pound looks a bit better, especially with the pound weakness we just seen recently. Oh, okay, Sean's in Phuket, okay. Haven't seen Sean in ages. No way, close to the mil per month. I know that guy's well paid, I'm not gonna lie. I know that guy's well paid. And Sean as well. But to be fair, like Sean, I was a big fan of Sean. I haven't seen him anything from him in a while. Probably years now actually. So I have no idea what he's doing now. But I remember early in the early years, I was looking a lot of their content, especially Sean's technical analysis. I really like the way he analysed charts. I think Nat was always the bit more fundamental guy, but yeah, Sean, I like some of his ideas outside charts as well. But yeah, I knew they were from Birmingham. Needs to be printed on the shirt. That's funny. It's gone really dark, hasn't it? I didn't realise. But GJ, yeah, pound yen has been a bit mixed, to be honest. We had a lot of weakness with pound this morning because of inflation. But I'm still very bullish on this one, so I'm still holding this position, looking for a swing back to highs. And hopefully we can go and take out the highs in the next few days. But primarily we need that yen weakness to kick in. I know pound's not looking brilliant right now, but it's more so yen I'm looking to trade here. So we'll see how that gets going. So far, price is above that level, which is the key metric for me. If prices can stay above that, I'm bullish. I didn't get the best entry in this position. I could have got a slightly better entry, but it was an awkward time for me to enter the trade because it was coming to the end of the week. But yeah, I'm still happy with the position. Just about 2.5 R to my target, more or less. But yeah, nasty candle this morning. But as long as we can stay above support, I'm still holding GJ for a big push. It might come back down to retest support, so you might look at this as an opportunity for a buy if you're bullish. But yeah, that is what I'm looking at. GJ. Oh, okay. Sold a share. The company to Nat makes sense. But that's been interesting. A bit of a walk down memory lane there. But yeah, guys, appreciate you tuning into another stream. We were looking to wrap it up around here, but I will be live again tomorrow. So yeah, guys, stay tuned for that. As always, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. As always, I do appreciate each and every one of you tuning into the stream. If you have enjoyed it, please drop a like, subscribe to the stream. To the channel does really help out. I do apologize about the electric guy or the chainsaw guy. He's been going through it today. Hopefully he takes a break tomorrow. But guys, really appreciate it. Have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.
Six AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko AI. Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. XAU, Technical Analyst. Mesa AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa AI, Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zenthry XAU.